It is so refreshing. After a week of temperatures in the upper 30s, sleeping indoors was becoming uncomfortable, so I ventured out to the River Wye to chill in my rooftop tent. Moving water often generates cooling air currents, whilst evaporation from the water acts as a natural air conditioner, dropping ambient temperatures near the shoreline. I have a couple of other useful tips about ways to stay cool when camping, and I'll share those later in the video. The River Wye was one of Britain's earliest tourist destinations, dating back to the 1800s. Today it forms part of the border between England and Wales. In Welsh it's called Afon Gwy. Gwy means water or river. Translated, it's literally river. Go figure. People often ask how I find the places I camp. I've started using Wilder Trips to plan my adventures. It's loaded with useful features to plan routes, camping locations, interesting places to visit, and it calculates travel costs too. I've posted a link to this trip in the description. You can access it for free and plan your own short trips too. To unlock more features, there is a subscription fee, and I've also added a 50% discount code if you're interested. There's a flat spot for camping on the left, with mains water and electric, but I'm heading back along the track to find a spot in the shade. Is the River Wye, and at this point it's tidal, and apparently seals come as high as this place. If I'm lucky I might see an otter or two. Now that would be cool. A little bit earlier there was a cormorant hanging off that tree over there, the one that's sticking up in the water, very patiently waiting for a fish to come by. I missed it, but he dived in and pulled something out. Apparently a very good fishing spot. Very good camping spot from the point of view that I'm in the shade of the trees. It's 8 PM on one of the hottest days of the year. Camp is set up and I'm going to prepare an evening meal just now. So here's a quick walk around just to show you the setup. I've got the bonnet popped in order to dissipate some heat from the engine and the drivetrain to a certain extent. I've got my awning out and some illumination. Roof tent is open. I expect that's where I'm going to spend the night. Just so long as it cools down a bit. Here's one of my new toys. These are, I've put a magnet on the back, security light with a bug killer built in. They don't come on until it gets dark, but the bug killers will stay on all night. If I was disturbed, the lights would come on automatically, just sound the alarm for me. I've got 3 of them. I may move them around a little bit. I've got one hanging off the mountain bike, already turned on. That one doesn't rely on it getting dark. I don't think they're particularly effective until it is dark, however. As I say, one of the hottest days of the year, 8 PM, and it's currently 26 degrees. Phew, pretty warm. So I'm going to cook myself up something fairly soon and sit out at the back of the Troopy. Look at where I am. What a super spot. River Wye is not a bad place to be from the point of view that there'll be some advantage in the heat exchange effect of the water. Looking up, The sun set a little bit early because I'm deep in the valley, so that was a bonus. Anyway, tomorrow I'm going to take this mountain bike out for a bit of an explore. There's some lovely places around here, and I'm hoping I might also find a little secret spot here and there where I can do a bit of wild camping. The place I'm at is on Wild with Consent website, similar like Off-Grid Camp, where landowner allows you to stay on his property for a small fee. Nice chap that I met, a fella called Stephen. In the comments I'll post a link to his particular site if you've got it in mind to come down and stay. So earlier when I was setting up, I did get bitten a couple of times by horseflies, but since I lit this fella up, it's a thermocell, I haven't seen any flies around at all, so there's testament that these things work. Here's a neat trick on a hot night camping like this. Put a bag of wet wipes in the fridge, and then when you give yourself a wipe down, it is so refreshing. Face, arms, later on, give my torso a quick wipe. Helps to cool down, takes the sweat off, feel a little bit better before I go to bed. And actually, I might be tempted. I've just put that bag between my legs, and what I might do is take it up to bed with me and give it a cuddle, a bit like a hot water bottle but in reverse. I think that'll be a good plan. I'll let you know about that. I'm going to crack a drink and cook myself something up inside my fridge. I've got some sweet and sour ribs, so that'll be a bit nice, and I've got a nice bottle of Blindside Just Press cider to wash it down with. There's my bug killers in action. Some nice ambient lighting. It's a little bit cooler now. Still about 23 degrees, so still hot, hot, hot. So the roof tent is absolutely the place to be tonight. There's just a small breeze, but I'm going to augment that with a fan plugged into power bank. A little bit of air movement. It's definitely the way to go. Expect by morning Temperature may have fallen to all of 20 degrees. So it's going to be sticky no matter what. But a good night's sleep and mountain bike adventure tomorrow. Well, good morning. It is another beautiful day. I've taken myself out for a walk already. That went well, actually. I came across a couple of otters and got some footage of that, so that was a nice treat. I have tidied up my campsite a little bit. I've done the morning necessary and left the loo-to a little distance away from the vehicle so it can vent. Pro tip, let your loo-to vent before you knock the bag and put it in your trasharoo with all your other rubbish. Eaten breakfast already. I've started to tidy up. I'm planning to go out on the mountain bike shortly and ride some of Offers Dyke. There's apparently some really good views and some nice scenery to be had. A couple of interesting sights as well. So how did I cope in that roof tent last night? It was hot, hot, hot. And in truth, that brainwave, using the chilled bag of hand wipes, non-starter, got covered in condensation no sooner than it was out for a couple of minutes. So what did I do? Well, I think I mentioned this in the build video. What I've got is a length of ducting that connects to the diesel heater, and that allows me to heat the tent in the winter time, but also, as it turns out, in the summertime, running that bit of ducting up there, look, up into the roof tent, just means I got a nice blast of cool air. That made all the difference. Temperature this morning 22 degrees. That's not too shabby. I'm going to make the most of that before the afternoon sun. So I'm going to finish wrapping everything up, unload the mountain bike and head off on the trails. Skep 117 swings out 117 degrees, fits on a regular tow ball. Very, very ingenious design. Has double security locking. There's a spring pin and a lever with another lever to make sure that it can't possibly come undone. I don't have a padlock fitted, but you can drop a padlock into that there and nobody can remove it for nefarious purposes. Really, really useful piece of kit. Fastened to my skep, I've got a one-up bike rack. These are particularly good because you just need to press them red levers down to release them. There's no fiddly straps or anything like that. And for ultimate security, you just put a decent bicycle lock around the whole assembly.
Follow the mountain trails, my hands brush over the reed.
Follow. 3, 2,
You lead
1.
over the I love the to my love, to my love, to my love.
I've got some weight to lose, and as well as eating less, I've decided to invest in a new e-mountain bike. This Amflow bike is on loan from Delta Bikes in Dursley. I've had it a month already, whilst waiting for my XXL bike to be delivered. John at Delta was absolutely right to recommend the biggest frame size for me. This one is XL, and it's too small. Great fun all the same, and a taste of things to come.
As long as I'm on to my love, to my love. mountain trail will teach us a new song. And walking longer than we've ever gone. This mountain trail will teach us a new song. My love, my love, my love, my love.
Well, this place looks as though it's worth a look around. What have we got? Experience the exploration zone. Just has to be done, doesn't it? Wow, someone was pretty handy with a chainsaw. That was well worth the ride. And a little bit of a child's assault course. Some rocks to jump over, some logs to run along. Should I give it a go? Yeah, why not? Nothing to lose. Once upon a time, I would have run along those. There we go. Oh, made it. Gosh, that makes me feel good. Oh, got my eye in now. Go with a bit of speed, a bit of pace. Oh, cool. And a maze. Amazing. Probably a bit tall for that. I'd be able to see where I was going. Whoa. A little bit more assault course. Can't resist it now. Here we go. Bip bop, bip bop, bip. Jog along, jog along. Last little bit. There we go. Fairly decent car park. Another picnic table over there. And the usual killjoy rocks as well, with a gap in them right there. And interestingly, I don't know if you can see it, but I can just about make out tyre tracks. So you can get a vehicle up here, park it up by the picnic table. Some folks have even lit a campfire. So it does look as though other people have been pushing the boundary. Yeah, look, there's a way in and a way out where you can avoid the rocks. Okay, right, I'm going to move on. Next stop, Devil's Pulpit. Devil's Pulpit just down there. And as a younger man, I'd have jogged down onto that spot with a second thought. And I may have even scrambled up the other side and stood on the Devil's Pulpit itself. I preached a sermon towards Tintern Abbey. However, my 63-year-old self, all on my own on my mountain bike, and no one knows where I am, it's going to err on the side of caution. Just going to leave the bike there a moment and take a walk down these steps, because there's another feature here that's worth an examine. Down we go. Pop, 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 pop. And there it is. This old tree. I don't know whether the camera is picking this up sufficiently well to do it justice, but this is a thing of natural beauty that complements that Devil's Pulpit rather spectacularly. The way the roots are interwoven with this slab of rock that looks as though it's been built. Looks as though it were man-made. I'll have to do a bit of research on the history and report on it with a voiceover in the video. But look at that. It's a bit polished in places where people have scrambled up and climbed on it. But what a survivor. I'm not even sure what kind of tree it is, and I'll look that up as well just to be certain. But look at that, look at the colours. Yeah, look at the colours and just try and imagine just how long that piece of natural architecture has been there for. Certainly longer than I've been alive, that's for sure. And I have a feeling it'll still be here long after I'm gone. There's a morbid thought. What a super place. Little bit of a look around. You know what? I would say the gap between that tree and that tree would take a hammock quite nicely. Ha! Yeah. Cycle up here with a hammock tent and a small cook stove, and what a creepy place to spend the night. Gorgeous too. Ha! I think I'll play with that in my mind. Bit of a departure from overland camping, but I could be tempted to give it a go. Spooky. Right, it's time to head back to Coed Ithel, pick up the Troopy.
Follow the mountain trails, my hands brush over. You lead me over the hill, I know the urgency. To my love, to my love. swallows us whole in shadows and shade. But we will never be left alone as long as I'm on my way to my love, to my love.
Turns out there's not a lot of information about the rooted tree in the limestone stack, other than it's a yew tree, and the stone feature was likely left in place by quarrymen. I prefer to see it as a living symbol of life triumphing over adversity.
We've been walking longer than we've ever gone. This mountain trail will teach us walking longer than we've ever.
It really helps the channel when viewers like you watch until the end, so here's a big thank you for doing so, and I'll see you in the next one.